My name is Jenn, and I'm here with SK.
Hello.
And what have we got for you guys today? We're going to try for a short one. Not a lot new has been going on, but we are going to just talk about our bases. Just a little bit of updates on that. There are some events that are going on right now and coming up. We will talk about how we did in leagues this go around. In the news, there is a video called Just for Fun. So I haven't seen that yet, so I'm going to watch that, and maybe we can talk about that. There are some shop offers in the shop, and we are going to have you're going to have a Can't Fix Stupid at the end.
I don't have any shop offers.
What? I do. Are you serious?
I'm very serious. I don't have any shop offers.
Well, click on it.
Oh, because when I click on it, it'll make it appear, will it?
Well, yeah.
I'm looking at the shop, and there are no offers. There's not even, you know how normally there's the exclamation mark? There's none. There's no shop offers. What do you have?
I'm kind of shocked because I have shop offers, and
why do you have shop offers and I don't have shop offers?
You can't even complain to Supercell now because they shut the forums down.
Yeah. I'm still upset about that because I'm less inclined to find out about the game. Whereas the forum, I could just do a very quick scan of the first page or something, see what's happening in that world, and then job done, right? But now, with that closed, I'm not a fan of Reddit, so I'm less inclined to know what's going on in the world of Clash, be it maintenance or bugs or competitions that are coming up and whatnot. I'm less inclined, and everything's more in the game now than it was when the forums were active. So, but
I logged into the forums the other day, and it was kind of sad that there was no new stuff, and they will be on, I think he said, by September, October, I think they had planned, or something like that. So
yeah, they'll start deleting everything, I think. So, but anyway, you have shop offers and I don't.
But yes, anyway, I have shop offers. I have a builder potion for $1.39.
What?
I have a hero book for $2.79.
Excuse me. So you actually have good shop offers, is what you're saying as well. Not even ones that I'm like, no, I'm not buying none.
You would probably want that one. You would probably want that one. And then there is a Book of Spells, Research Potion, Power Potion, and Hero Potion for $9.99, and then 10 million gold and a Book of Building for $13.99.
I'm so upset. Why do you have shop? I'm still going on about this. Why do you have shop offers and I don't?
I don't know. Maybe because they don't want to give it to Town Hall 14, so they buy them all and, get through the updates.
Have you been spending on a spending spree and now flagging up as someone that's more inclined to buy things from the shop?
Nope. The only time I've ever bought anything is when I've said in the podcast, and I haven't been buying for the last, I don't know how long, because I'm almost maxed.
Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why you're almost maxed, so actually we'll just give you stuff you don't need.
Maybe.
Well, I'm a little bit jealous. I wouldn't have bought the builder potion, to be fair, because I've never bought a builder.
I know you would have taken the hero book.
I might have, only because I'm one of those weird people that are like, I should buy it just in case. Because, and I think this probably leads on to base progression and how our bases are, but...
You should buy it just in case. I should be stocking up on those cheap ones now.
Yeah, but No, you're not going to Town Hall 14 anytime soon.
It's just around the corner.
No.
Town Hall 14 is just around the corner
it's not.
for me, and I should be stocking up on them, given how many freaking pet upgrades there are.
No, I know it's not worthwhile for you because you'll be like so annoyed about all the hero books and the season pass and whatnot. So, but my king is currently upgrading after the leagues as per tradition. So he's going up to 77. So I would only need 3 more upgrades to get him to max. There's 2 in the gold pass. So there would only be that 1 more book.
Yeah.
So that would have helped me max, but I wouldn't have used. Would I have used it? I might have used it, yeah, to be sure. But I think if I was in a position I didn't have any hero books, I probably still would have bought it because I wanted to fill in the slot. But yeah, so and then after that, my heroes are maxed, my pets are maxed. My research finished yesterday, so
Yeah, you're all fired.
my offense is fully maxed now. It's just my defense, of which I am still working on traps. This is what I've been saying for the last however many months. I'm still working on traps. I still have a crap ton of air bombs and bombs to go. And I don't. There's no point in me planning what I'm going to upgrade after those traps are done because there's too many to do right now. But it'll be nice to get my traps upgraded and then I can actually start being 10 or 14. Might actually buy those extra walls.
What are the costs like in terms of how much it costs for your traps right now?
So my traps in relation to my other defences, is that what your question is? They are less.
Well, I know that they're less, by how much?
By about just over a half.
Okay.
So I'll give you an example. So where I am in the gold pass and whatnot, right? So a regular, one of those small bombs is 4,800,000. Whereas a cannon is 14 million.
Right. So I'm just curious because I think when it comes to upgrading things, you and I did them quite differently. Do you find that, or do you think that it might be more difficult for you to more difficult for you later to farm what you need for your cannons? Because right now, I mean, it's easier to put down the lower ones because you only have like 4 million gold to put down for a bomb, where you're not really having to raid as much.
Yeah. I think it makes it a little bit more trickier, as in obviously I have to care a little bit more about what bases I'm hitting and actually farming. But I think Supercell has made it so sort of easy to do now. What with the daily loot bonus, with the star bonus. You've got We Are a War Clan, so you'll have. I always forget to empty my CC because I'm so used to having been maxed. It's just always full, so I've forgotten that I actually need to empty it sometimes. So that happens as well, and then you've got the gold, the extra gold that comes from the season pass as well. So actually, it's not that hard to have enough gold. Also,
do you think it'll be more troublesome as you get into those bigger defenses, though?
I might I'll still try and time them so that I would only farm for 1 defense a day or every 2 days, whereas with my traps I had no issue putting 2 of them down at the same time. When I was upgrading heroes and I had the warden down and then the queen down, and when I'd have them both at the same time to get them ready for war at the same time, but then that would mean 2 builders would come up at the same time. But I would have no problem putting down them both for the same thing, for the same trap for the same time. Whereas now I might be like, okay, well, I'm only going to put one down and then I'll put the next one down tomorrow because first of all, I'll have to farm for that, but also it'll help me, give me breathing space to manage my upgrades at that point. I am also looking at, there's 7 cannons and 8 archer towers, right? That's almost like traps all over again. That's what's going in my head. I'm like, oh, I'm nearly done with traps, but then, the cannon and the archer towers just feel like traps again. But yeah, so that's my base. How's your base going? And then I will ask you the question that I've been thinking of, which relates to this.
I am offensively max. I have been for, but actually that's a lie. I have a couple troops left. I just put in my Valks because I had lots of Dark Elixir. I have just the Valks left for my Dark troops, and then I have the Skelly spell, Jump spell, and Clone spell. So all the stuff that I didn't really use much of. All my other troops on the Elixir side are max, as well as the Dark troops, and all of my Siege machine. And defense-wise, I have both levels of my cannons left. I kind of left those until the end. Everything else, I've got 2 levels of cannons left. I've got my air defenses left because there's only 1 level of those. And now I have 1 level left of 3 more archer towers. And then I'll be back. So probably a month and a half, maybe.
So you're not going to 10 or 14 until next year?
I think September, maybe October.
Next year.
We'll see. Maybe at the start of the year. That'll give me 6 months to try, and I think the end of the year is good.
Have you better start looking for your replacement then. Mm-hmm. You've got 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you've sort of whizzed through 10 or 13 pretty speedily.
I have, yeah.
Have you enjoyed 10 or 13?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, our wars are always going to be frustrating where I'm either hitting, max 14 or, something super rushed. There hasn't been very many wars. I can maybe count on one hand how many wars there have been where I'm, hitting my equal and,
You've had to hit up. And...
yeah, quite a bit.
You do, enjoy a challenge.
Even last war, we got, we were outmatched in that I pulled a 14. And yes, it wasn't, a max 14 or anything, but I mean, it still had the town hall. It still had, whatever else. And it was just like...
You still got more percentage on him than he did on you.
I did get more percentage on him than he got on me, but the embarrassing part was that our Town Hall 12 got 91% and I only got 69. So that was
you were just going for that magic number, weren't you?
Well, yeah. Well, and to be fair, I mean, I said, I lost my queen ability early on, and it was downhill after that, because when you're going in against scatter shots and you lose your ability, you've got no hope to keep that queen alive.
But, see, do you think part of it is subconsciously you feel like the pressure's off because your number 2 backed you up, and you know that actually, that might actually be enough, and while you don't consciously relax a little because you're still going for free, do you think that actually you are a little bit more lax? You're like, oh, that's not so bad.
Yesterday when I hit, I shouldn't have hit. I should have cleaned the base below, because I haven't been raiding with this army at all. I use it for war and that's it. I've been using, other armies for raiding and stuff, and I just, my war attack has has suffered because of it. And so I should have cleaned up the base below instead of hitting number 1 first, just to kind of get the feel, the movement with the troops, the rages on the queen and stuff like that. So, I mean, that was my fault. And I knew that before I even attacked that I should have cleaned it, but I still went ahead and did it. But I mean, he attacked after me, and I figured that we would be okay, but I was still worried because their number 1 hit him, or hit our number 2 and only got a 1 star, and that was a Town Hall 14 dipping on a 12. So I figured we might be okay, but I was more worried about their number 2 just because he had 5 accounts in that war. So I figured that he was going to be the one that was going to,
I noticed it was pretty much a 2-man clan.
Yeah.
Probably 1 man. He's just got a different name for the other ones.
Maybe.
But yes, what were we talking about? We're talking about wars now, so I guess we're talking about wars. So we are on 6 wins now after leagues. We'll talk about leagues in a minute. And we're into our 7th war, and the matchup looks, well, their roster engineering, because they've got Town Hall 6s at the bottom, I think, or Town Hall 5s even at the bottom.
Yeah.
So our middle part of our roster is hitting up a lot, and those 10s are not rushed, so our 9s will have a challenge.
And even I said I can count on my hand how many times I'm coming up against a max 13, and this is at legitimately at the top. There's a reason why these guys roster engineered, because they are heavy at the top. They've got 2 max 12s, a max 13, the two max 10s, and their 11 is max almost. So I mean they're heavy on top. That's why they roster engineered. So they're pretty much, up top, other than the 2 max 10s against our 1 max 10. Well, our 10 isn't even max, actually. I would say they actually have the advantage this time.
Oh yeah, no, I knew they had an advantage. They always have an advantage when we look at it. There's very few cases where we don't have the disadvantage. But I think this war will be more about, okay, the attacks are, they count, as in you're gonna have to bring your best for each one. That's not to say that it's not a winnable war, but the better that you do and not need that backup, the less stressful I think you will be. I'm not in war, so I'm great. I'm not stressed at all. But I think everyone in that war is going to be tested, as in they're hitting either their equal or they're hitting up. There's no easy targets, apart from obviously the 10 of 5s, but there's no easy targets in this war, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Even our Town Hall 10 recently maxed heroes, but is definitely gonna, those 2 bases are going to be a challenge. Just looking at, what their home bases are, these guys are going to have some good bases, and I know they will.
Well, get ready to snap a pic if they work.
Yeah.
Because, I know that we have on more occasion.
I will say, our Town Hall 10 last war, I didn't realize this, it took them 4 hits to clear our Town Hall 10.
Well,
they had Town Hall 12s failing on our Town Hall 10.
Our bases, they contribute a fair share of how many wars we win.
Yep.
It's not all about defense, because there's no way that we're amazing at attacking all the time, but our defenses make up for, I guess, a lot of our shortfalls a lot of the time. But yes, so yeah, they'll have proper war bases and proper fought out war bases, I guess. The new Town Hall 9 that I got you, he made his own base, and
I
he's
saw-
running it this war.
I saw.
I don't know if you saw the feedback I gave, but I
I
think
did not
he
see
said
the feedback.
he said that this is my base, and I looked at it and I said, okay, it's very compact and it's very prone to hogs, basically, because if you look at it, that's the first thing you think. And he's like, it's anti lava loon and anti drag. Basically, that's what he's building, is anti lava loon and anti drag. Therefore, trading it off for hogs. And I'm like, this is what I told him. And he's like, okay, I'll put it in more and we'll see. Because it's almost like he's like, just disregarding what I said. And I didn't want to push it anymore because, you know, he built it and he's obviously quite proud of what he built. So, you know, I'm like, if I was attacking it, I would use hogs. But again, I'm not a good attacker, so no way would I be using lava loon anyway.
Looking at it now, to hit that base with hogs, it's not going to be easy.
Well, you know, you can't lure the CC, but there is a small bit you can lure.
He doesn't have any double bomb spots that he doesn't have. You can lure the CC. No, you can't lure the CC.
You can once you get rid of the cannon. You do. It's not a simple. Okay, I'll just throw down a hog and the CC will come out. But you will be able to lure it effectively.
The queen. The unfortunate part about the base is the king and queen are so close together, and using hogs, you have to take out the queen. So if you're going to take out the queen in this base, you're also going to get the king. Which the king, you know, on the opposite side of the base, when using hogs, he chases your hogs and he kills them. So, yeah, it is prone to hogs. I don't know where he thinks anti-air, because I'm looking at, you know, his air defenses where they are, and they're close to a lot of value that, you know, he can zap away archer towers.
Well, your defenses are so tight anyway that...
Yeah, so... I mean, you could get 2 air defenses and maybe even an expo as well with a quake. Like, it's, I don't know. We'll see how it does, I guess.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, he's like, it's going to defend against anti-air. I'm sure of it. Right, so I'm like, okay, fine. We will see.
And I mean, this war isn't going to be able to be a good tell because, I mean, he's going to be hitting a max 10. Or he's going to be getting hit by max 10.
Yeah, I mean, our lower town halls will always be rolled over at some point, if we're facing a clan that wants to win. But we'll see. I don't think it's his only account, is what I will say. So.
Nope. I'm pretty. I know when I invited him, I'm like, oh, this guy definitely has another one because he's got like, what was it, 1,200 war stars or something? Is that the same guy? Oh, yeah, it was, I invited a couple 9s that had max heroes and, like, a crazy amount of war stars. I'm like, yeah, this must not be his only account.
Yeah, there was tough recruiting day today. You know, and that is what it was like today. There are either people that are, yep, I'll get on it, here you go, and it's all boom, 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 done in, like, 2 hours. Or it's never to hear from them again. You know, so it's a very mixed bag today. And I think I invited the other half of Brazil today, so I don't understand what. As also, they're like, I don't speak English, and then they stay.
And I don't understand. I don't understand why people don't just look at the clan description. You can tell so much about a clan from the clan description. Mainly the language they speak.
I just don't understand why.
You can join. Like, if I'm looking for clans and I get an invite from, you know, some Russian clan or French or... I don't even look twice at them if their clan description is in that language, because I cannot speak that language.
Yeah, I mean, you do get people that are wanting to learn their language. Maybe they're learning and trying to get better.
We had somebody come in the other day, and he's like, you teach me English. I'm like, no. This is not the place for me to be teaching you English.
Yes. And then it's like, what's BS stand for? And you're like, bad stuff. Let's not be teaching you that kind of English.
Yeah.
But you know, and there is a grey area for me anyway when you're coming in, and you're not a native English speaker. Fair enough, and so I mean there is a grey area, and I can't define what I will not stand for and what I'll have patience for. But if, let's say, you're an intermediate learner of English, say, then at least I will have a little bit more patience. But if you're just responding to me in a different language, expecting me to speak your language, then that's a no-go. You know? So there is a grey area that I haven't been able to define because I do think at some point some of our other calls will be like, at what point should we kick them if they're, you know... So I haven't been able to define that. I don't know, what is it for you? Is it just English or no?
I don't mind if somebody, because we've had people in the clan that can speak both languages or multiple languages.
Both languages being Brazilian, well, Portuguese or Spanish, or, you know, the mixing pot that is Brazil versus English.
The issue that I have, and when I start to just kick and not, you know, try to say, you know, English only again, is when, you know, you tell them this is an English-speaking clan, you have to speak English, and, right, you know, 2 sentences after that, they're speaking in Portuguese again, or they're speaking in Spanish again, and it's just like, no, like, English is what we want. And I'll usually kick them. Or if they come in and, you know, I go through my spiel, this is what I say, and it's like Portuguese right away. And then it's just like, okay. And then I'll usually, you know, welcome them again in English. And then if it's, you know, again right after that, it's like I'm not even going to try and say English only. It's just, you're not getting it, and I kick them.
Mm-hmm. Because there is that balance of, okay, do I just let it run on and they're still talking to me in, you know, I don't know, whatever non-English language, and therefore screwing up my recruitment results again. But also it runs the risk of other, you know, multilingual members who are new and not yet, you know, being able to stay in the clan. They start speaking to them in their own native language, and therefore that causes the sort of knock-on effect to they think that's okay, and therefore they're safe, and, you know, they bugger off, you know. So, well, we don't mind people that aren't native English speakers, even if you do speak the other language of the other person. It's not a good idea for them to start speaking to them and having to translate and all that stuff. It's, for us as a clan, it's just too... It wouldn't work because we keep the game in game, and you and I and other calls are not able to help you if you have a question.
Right. Yep.
Particularly if they're going, how do I attack this base? And you're saying, oh, at 9 o'clock, hit this air defense, but go in at a slight angle and, you know, kill the queen, but make sure that think there's super minions in the CZ or something, drop a poison. How are you going to explain that to somebody who has to put that through a translator?
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, that's what I mean. You know, I think there is a great area where if you have intermediate level people and they're just translating the odd word that they don't understand, that's fine. But I think, you know, on the other side, you gotta remember that the person that's trying to help you is not going to be online all the time while you're trying to work out what they're saying. You know, you only have a limited amount of time to help someone with their attack, so you need to make as much use of time that they allow you. But yes, so we've kind of gone off on a tangent there. What were we talking about?
We were talking about wars, and then somehow got to talking about
languages.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. We got diverted anyway, also because I wanted to ask you a question when we were talking about base progression. So we went on a tangent that went on a roundabout that went off, you know, down the woods or something. So the question that I wanted to ask you was, so you and I play the game differently. and that's a very known fact. So we've now got 6 builders, including the master builder, right? What is your opinion in terms of, do you keep one builder free for walls, or do you use all your builders for upgrades?
I usually, it depends. I look at a couple things. I look at what's coming up. Am I going to have to raid? Do I want to even raid? I look at how much loot I'm gonna get from like wars and stuff. I look at how spaced out my builders are. If I know, like, if I put down, I mean, it all depends on how much loot I have too. If I know that I'm gonna have a crap ton of loot and I don't have a builder for so many days, I won't keep a builder because I'll know, okay, I've got a builder coming up in 2 days. It's gonna take me 2 days to get a little bit of loot anyway. And I mean, I'm not always fussed. I'm never fussed about people raiding me and getting my loot. I mean, I don't care, right? Because I can always raid and get it back. So I do and I don't. It always just depends. Like I said, how spaced out my builders are. If I know, okay, I've got a builder coming up in a day and a half, I'm just going to put the 6th one down because I know that I've got that one coming up in a day and a half. If I get a little bit of loot, I'll do a wall. I'll do something else. I tried to keep all my builders busy all the time, but around the season pass, when that would end, I made sure that I had a builder that was going to be finishing at that time. And if I didn't have a builder that was finishing at that time, that would have been the only time that I kind of saved a builder for the walls, because I knew that I was going to be having all that excess loot. And I would get rid of it first, and then I would, like I said, put that builder down and space things out and know, okay, I've got a builder coming up in this many days, I have to raid, or I'm not going to raid, and sort of thing.
Okay, but then you used to be a big advocate for keeping a builder free to do your walls because you didn't want to do them all at the end or something like that.
Yeah, and I still do my walls as I play. And I mean, it's been at least a month now that I've had all my walls maxed, and I'm working on defenses now. And I mean, I have an account where I am grinding walls, and I absolutely hate it. So I will continue to say that you should do your walls as you do your base, and not leave your walls to the end, because oh my god, it's a pain in the ass doing those walls. But yeah, I mean, you and I are different as well, just in how you're upgrading now your base. You're doing all of your traps first. And while I do my traps first, I do tend to leave my smaller upgradable things like my bombs, some of the air bombs, for later on as well, just because and again, it goes, how much do I want to raid? If I've got this much, I put down a bigger thing, and I know, okay, in the next 4 days, I might get a little bit of loot, and then I can put this small bomb down where, I'm just kind of, balance it back and forth where, just in my mood, what I want to do. If I don't want to be raiding too much, then I'll kind of, stagger my builders and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you're not someone that says, I always have one builder free in case I want to do walls to get rid of all my loot. I am the same as you, but a little bit less, like, I don't care if I get raided as well, because eventually I'll be max and then everyone will just raid me anyway. But I think it's more because, you add into the time that you're not playing the game. You're adding into the time that you're sleeping. I hope people sleep. You're spending family time, work, all of that stuff, right? And that builder's not doing anything. But to upgrade walls which are instant, or I don't think it's very. To me, it doesn't sit well that there's a slacker builder where all the other 5 are hard at work. I must make them all work fairly. So yeah, for me it's not so much okay. I just want to get through all my upgrades quickly, you know, and that's why I have all those builders free. It's the mirror image of that, in that I don't think it's efficient to have a builder not doing anything during the times that I'm not playing the game or upgrading a wall. So that we do have some things in common, but I thought you might have lent more to having a builder only for walls. No, just because
like I said, it would make more sense. It would make sense to do that if I was at that point where I was constantly raiding and grinding not grinding, but playing the game as much as I used to, and having all of that excess loot that I could be doing walls. But it's just no.
Yeah. Okay. So what went with leagues? Yeah.
What went on with leagues?
Last episode you said we're lucky if we're gonna even win one, or the first one. So what actually happened, Jen?
We actually won 5. So that was nice.
Did we not win 6? We won 6.
No, we won 5. We didn't win the last one.
Oh, right, yes. No, we didn't. Did we? No.
We lost the last war, but we still had enough to beat them in the standings.
Yes, because that was the squeaky bum war, where I was frantically thinking, okay, we could win this. But yeah, so we won 5 out of 7 is still pretty much darn a surprise, more than your one win.
Oh, well, a lot of to be fair, a couple of the teams didn't. One more, the team didn't attack at all.
Yeah, and I mean, we touched on that last episode, whereby we win a lot by the fact that we as a clan encourage everyone to do their hits, whereas it's not that we're every single match that we were in that league, we were ranked, right? Every single one. If all of them used all their attacks, we would have been right down in the bottom, right?
Oh yeah.
So yeah, a lot of our leagues, and sometimes ours, we win purely by the fact that we use our attacks, and that's what gives us, I guess, the edge, versus clans that have 3 Town Hall 13s in there, versus our Town Hall 7s, so we lucked out a little bit with inactive clans, but also not lucky, because that is our, I guess, go-to strategy, is that everyone attacks. Because even if our 10 Hall 7s or 10 Hall 8s can still get a 1 star, either through sniping or just rushing a 10 Hall, that's still 1 star, and it all adds up. And that 1 star makes no difference whether a 7 got it or 10 got it. So I'm quite impressed and surprised all in one. And it was very close between the 2nd to the 4th clan, so position 2, 3, and 4. And the number 1 clan basically was farming medals and steamrolled everyone. But between 2, 3, and 4, it was very close. We had higher destruction again, and again, that's sort of supports what I was saying, in that, and when we go into leagues and we have a solid amount of people, our destruction is always a lot higher, even though we get rolled. So I was quite impressed with that, because we did have higher destruction than the clan that bet us last war. But yes, I was quite surprised that you had so many medal batches to give out this time.
I was excited that we did because we had a few new people.
Mm-hmm.
There were some attacks that were really good, and I was glad that I was able to give it to the Town Hall 8 again, because I think it was a Town Hall 10 that he had to hit, but it was a really good attack. The Town Hall was closer into the middle, but the funnel that he had to make, and just he was like, okay, he sniped everything first, he got his funnel down, and he got in, and for him to get 2 stars on that base, I was quite impressed. So I was happy to have the extra batches,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a lot of people that really deserved it this go around, and that's why it was nice to. I wasn't too worried that we were in gold 3 because I knew that we would get back up there, and in that process, I knew that we were going to have those batches of medals, kind of positive reinforcement, to give the people that deserved it when we did get there.
Yeah, and I hope that actually, I'm pretty sure that the clan that was in 3rd, they were also wanting to get promoted. And I hope that when they were, because if they're anything like us, we were following the board every war, right? Trying to figure out, okay, what's happening. And I hope they saw, when they saw us, in fact, not just them, but a lot of the clans that we face, I hope when they saw and faced us, they thought, wait a minute, look at their roster versus ours, and why are they, how the heck are they, where they are in the placing? Because I hope it gave them a millisecond pause to go, wait a minute, this is number 2 clan that we're facing? I just, that sliver of, wait a minute, that's all the reward I need, because, that number, the clan that placed 3rd, they had no, low town halls. They were proper.
Town Hall 9, this time around, there was a couple clans that had a Town Hall 9, but it was mostly 10s, 11s, 12s, 13s.
So I hope the clan that placed 3rd just deliver like a millisecond pause of, wait a minute, this is a clan we're trying to chase? Just to sort of, probably didn't even bat an eyelid, but for me, I like to think that happened because, we worked hard for that. And I also am glad that because we got promoted, there's a green in the line, because that's the stupid log that comes up first when you look at the log. And we all know the amount of, idiots that come in, and suddenly that's the only thing that matters. So I'm glad for that as well, which will help with recruiting.
Yep.
So, was there anything else we wanted to talk about, leagues?
There's a couple events that are going on right now. There is a Hasty Loons. 12 balloons I gotta use for 10 attacks. Thank you, 10 attacks. Coming up, there is the.
But it's 12 loons. It's 12 loons. It's not even that's like a significant portion of your army. You can't, combine them.
Dragloon or Lolo. And then there is a Super Minion event starting tomorrow, and then Tekka starting in 2 days and 10 hours. Hopefully, they are all going to be 10 attacks, because, oh my god, I've only done 1 loot attack, and I only have a day and a half left.
Well, I mean, they're staggering out the events, so you can't just, bum rush all the troops in one go.
I know.
Which is a pain.
I guess at least when they do multiple troop events and have it 15 or 20 attacks, they have them on at the same time, so you can get rid of them all at the same time. You don't have to do 60 attacks. So I can understand why it's only 10, because they're, spread out and whatnot. So
yeah. I guess you can use the super minions with your loons.
Yeah.
But then you have to throw in a P.E.K.K.A there sometime. I don't think I've not completed the event yet either. Because I've been doing my duties and doing the recruiting. So, Goodness. Yeah, so, I mean, what do you win? 1 training potion?
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah. See, and I don't like events that are like you win 1 training potion because I feel like, you know, the odds are I'm going to use a training potion to finish off the event and then you don't get...
Yeah.
It cancels out, but, you know, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, so we...
Yeah, I think that was it. I did say about this just for fun thing, so I'm gonna watch it because.
Oh, I haven't watched it. Is it a video? I thought it was just. I thought it was just.
Not even a video.
Yeah, I didn't think it was a video.
Wouldn't it be awesome if a village girl jumped on the back of an expo, shoot it instead of running to the town hall when you get attacked? Wouldn't it be awesome if a village girl jumped on the back of an expo to shoot it instead of running to the town hall when you get... Yes, I think that would be cool! Like, instead of the little villagers all running to the town hall when your base starts to get attacked, they hop on a defense and start firing. Absolutely, that would be awesome. I mean, it doesn't even have to, like, do more damage. I just think it would be cool to be watching, you know, as your troops are attacking and you see this little this little person manning the expo. I think it would be fun.
But that's the only one that somebody could man, right?
Maybe cannon.
Maybe. Someone at the air defense lighting up the rockets. Oh, well, it would be awesome for you because you've never noticed them clapping, so.
Yeah.
This brings me to another point that these are just random thoughts I have throughout the day. You know, they pop in my head and I think, oh, I must either, you know, tell you or ask you. But it annoys me. These are how the thoughts appear in my, you know, the random thoughts nearly always start with, it annoys me. But it annoys me that they have stopped, like, making the animations of the army camp. So when you start a new town hall and you get your archers and your barbs and whatnot, right? And it used to be when you tap them, they would go hoya, or you know, they rally to the call, right? But at some point, I don't know when it goes to. I think it must be a pick or something. They gave up and stopped doing these sort of subtle animations that when you tap at them, something happens. So like. Well, I only have loons right now because of the event, but like you tap on the army camp and the loons don't do anything. You know, so I'm disappointed that they didn't follow that sort of continue doing those little animations because I quite liked, you know, when you know I was farming with Barch and you had like 4 camps full of archers and barbs. And then you tapped on them and they all went roar and it was quite a good little animation, right? But then they stopped giving animation and I don't like that. Because the giants, like, they totally, like, punch their fists and stuff, right? So I don't know if you've ever noticed this. It's this new information for you.
I knew about the barbs because I remember you mentioning it to me one other time. It's like you said, like, click on your barbarian, listen.
So that's a barbarian.
I mean, I would love something like that. I mean, you know that I would because I go onto your base just to poke your pumpkin.
Excuse me, we're not poking my pumpkins. No wonder. But yeah, so I feel like as their game got bigger and bigger, they didn't think about those small touches that someone clearly, whoever worked on it at that time, very, you know, had those extra careful touches. So, because I don't think when you tapped an army camp, they made noises, but they had actions. Like, so the barbs that I told you to tap, I don't think they made noise, they just raised their the sword. It's the Barb King that makes the noise.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm disappointed by that. I'm also a little bit disappointed that they weren't, and I can understand why. I'm not as disappointed because I can understand why, but the barracks are not as detailed as they were before, because again, when you started a new game, you could see all the progression of the barracks. So at first, it was you got a sword for the barbs, and then you got a bullseye for the archer, and then every time there was an upgrade, it added a little bit more, but you could still see all the separate bits of the
Right.
troop that you could upgrade. But
Right.
whereas now it's just all that one troop, right? You can still see the bullseye with the arrows, but there's no other troop from there that you can see. So I would have liked it if they had made it so that you could see all the troops that you could make within that one barrack. But I understand that they couldn't possibly squash 10 the some troops into one barrack. But if it was a nice,
it's 10 right now. But I mean, they're planning on the game being around for a long time, so
yeah,
that could be 20 at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, like for example, okay, so I'm looking at our Town Hall 8, okay, and you're looking at their barracks, and it's got swords for the barbarians, the bullseye for the archer, and then there's the sort of pillar, the steps up for the healers, and then it's got the P.E.K.K.A. So right then there's at least 4 troops coming out of there, right? As in, there's at least 4 different kinds of troops being represented by that barrack, which you don't see after. I think it is after the P.E.K.K.A. They stop representing more than just one troop. I mean, the bullseye is always there. I don't think that ever changes. But I liked in the lower town halls, and I noticed this more now after the experiment. It showed you the progression because the barrack would get an extra, it'd get the P.E.K.K.A. head and it would get the healer landing spot and whatnot. So I did appreciate the effort and thought that went into those designs. So yes, I've tangent off into another place.
Yeah, stupid to finish this off. I'll get us back on track here.
Okay. I guess I don't know if I've touched on this before, but today I've had a lot of this. So this is my can't fix stupid is when they come in, you give them the spiel, and one of the things that we always ask is, have you read the clan description? Do you understand what it says, etc., etc., right? And I don't understand or know how to respond to joiners that come in, and when you say this, you ask them a question, they go, what? I don't know what to say, so I just, say the same thing, because it's not, if you didn't hear what I said, then you can just read up. I don't know what means, as in, because in a day-to-day conversation with a real life person and outside the game, right? If you're talking to me and I didn't hear you, I would go, what did you say? Or what? If I'm being quick, I'll just go say what, right? And that means I haven't heard you. It's not, I don't understand what you're saying. So it's, so I get a lot of people that come in and go, you tell them stuff and they go, what? And I'm like, I'll just say the same words, and maybe they'll read it this time. So I don't. Is that just me? Is that just me being like old and not hip with the whole lingo and whatnot?
Yeah, I don't know what I would say to that. To be honest, be like, what do you mean? What? Just read what I put.
I'm like, yeah, so it is. I either type it out again, word for word, or I'll just say, look up. I put it in chat. It doesn't disappear after 5 seconds. So yes, so that's my can't fix you, because I've had a lot of that today. People just saying what, not even with a question mark. So great grammar and all that, but just the what. I don't know sometimes how to respond to that, and I just want to say, What's wrong with you?
Maybe they were from Brazil, and what is the only word that they knew how to say?
Oh goodness. No, and no matter what language anyone speaks in recruitment, I find, no matter what language, apparently bro is multilingual. You know, like the amount of Brazilian people and the amount of, India and, Bangladesh and all that stuff, right? Bro is, whatever is said all the time. Because I was like, it was this, like, Portuguese, I think it was. It's like, blah, 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 because obviously I don't speak Portuguese and I clearly couldn't understand any of it. But the last word was bro, and I knew that bro meant bro. So I'm like, ugh. Apparently that's, international word, that one. So I do know some Portuguese. I know bro.
Yeah.
But I'll let you wrap up now.
Yes, we will wrap things up. Next week, probably just talk about, I don't even know what we're going to talk about next week. Hopefully something will happen. Maybe something with our wars. Maybe some changes in the clan. Who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, as of right now, there's nothing really exciting coming up. I mean, clan games in a couple of weeks.
I mean, we are getting busy, so sometimes, I don't know, we'll see how, we'll try and still keep it weekly, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to laugh because someone just came in and said I'm from Brazil.
I don't speak language.
Yep, and
But
then they're still there.
And be either in a week or maybe a week and a half, because you still are on holidays for the next couple of weeks, so we can do it in the midweek kind of thing. So we will see what we have to talk about, and when we do, we will do another episode. How about?
Okay. Bye.